Complementary and supplementary angles, U7.C7.L2. It's a twofer, Mrs. Benoit. Here you go.
Hi again. Okay, we've got two new angles that we're going to talk about today. And your learning target is, by the end of this, you will be able to say, I can identify complementary and supplementary angles, and again, find the missing angle measures. We will come back to these problems at the end, but by the end of this lesson, I'm hoping that you will be able to decide if these pictures of angles are showing complementary or supplementary, and then take it the step further and solve for x like we did in the previous video. So just two definitions this time to add to your definitions for angles. Complementary angles are two angles whose sum is 90 degrees. So I have my right angle here, and you see that marked off with the little box showing that that's 90 degrees. To have complementary angles, I would draw in this ray here to make two new angles. We could call this angle 1 and this angle 2. And angle 1 plus angle 2 is going to equal 90 degrees. Okay? Complementary angles equal 90 degrees. So if I added those two together, it would be 90. Supplementary angles are two angles whose sum is 180. So two angles that make that straight line. Here is a 180 degree angle. And again, if I draw that ray in, I have angle 1 here, angle 2 here. Angle 1 is bigger, laid back, so this would be an obtuse, and angle 2 is smaller, it's acute, but the two of them together make that supplementary angle, and they would equal 180 degrees. Okay? So these are the two terms that we need today to hit our learning target. Here's my first example. I have an angle. I can name it a few ways. Angle CBA, ABC, angle B. That's from last lesson. All right? And there is the little box here. So when I'm trying to decide if it's complementary or supplementary, I'll kind of look for that first. If I see that, I know that it's going to be complementary, so it's going to equal 90 degrees, a right angle. Okay? I have my two angle measurements here, 2x degrees and 28 degrees. So if I add 2x plus 28, together they make my complementary angle, my right angle, 90 degrees. I've got my equation. Build my wall, and we're trying to isolate the variable. So the first step is to move the constant over. Since it's plus 28, we're going to subtract 28 from both sides. 1 minus 8 is 2. 62. 2x equals 62. To solve for x, we're going to divide both sides by 2. So x is 31. We'll check that by putting it back in to our picture. And instead of 2x, we'd say 2 times 31. And we know 2 times 31 is 62 back here to this part of solving for x. And then we have 28. So if we do 62 plus 28, that should equal 90, our complementary angle, which it does. Second example is for supplementary. Okay, I don't see any right angles here. I do see two angles lined up that look like if you'd push them together, they'd make that straight line the 180 degrees. Okay, so these are supplementary. If you add the supplementary angles together, we set those equal to 180 degrees. We have our equation, so we're going to build our wall and solve for our variable. First step is to isolate in the variable is to move the constant. So we have 123. We're going to subtract that from both sides. That leaves us with 3x over here. And here we have 57. To solve for x, we're going to divide both sides by 3. And 57 divided by 3 is 19. So x equals 19. To make sure that we've done that correctly, we'll go ahead and put 19 in for x up here. So 3 times 19, and then we have 123 over there. 3 times 19 is 57. We go back to our work here, okay? And then if we took 123 plus 57, that would indeed equal 180. So we solved it correctly. All right, so we want you to try a couple similar problems. Your first step is going to decide if the angles are complementary or supplementary. So you'll copy these two pictures and look at them and decide if you have a complementary angle here or a supplementary angle, same here. And then solve for x. So if you have complementary, you set it equal to 90. If you have supplementary, you set it equal to 180. Good luck.